Here we go. Okay, it says we're live, so I hope we are. Welcome from the crossroads of America. The crossroads of America. Is it America anymore? That's the question. A talk show about guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. Answer questions from the audience, either in the chat or by email at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. I have a Patreon page. I also have a, PayPal one-time payment time thing or anything else. All that stuff's down in the description below. So there we go. Let's see who's in my chat. Who was first in today? I didn't even look. Patriot in the Dark was in first, then Guns and Barbecue, then Gun Loving Grandpa, then Rich White's here, MK Joe's here. Who else we got here? Jason Stewart's in the house. Raphael's here. People are starting to climb in, I should say. Anyway, so let's introduce my panel real quick. I got doing double duty. A lot of people in here doing double duty. I've got the one and only Jason Stewart. How you doing?
Doing fantastic, Rick. Thanks for the invite. Good to see everybody.
All right. Then we got New York Outcast.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for having me, Rick.
Yeah. And we got the lovable Squib Load. Talk to us.
I can find the camera. I can find the camera button, but I can't find the mute button. I don't like this new setup.
Okay. All right. Then we got the man, the myth, the legend, Patriot in the Dark.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone had a nice nap this morning.
Yeah. Then we got Guns and Barbecue.
Good afternoon, Rick. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, no problem. Then we got Wheelchair Luke. How you doing?
Good. How's it going, Rick? How's it going, everyone?
Not a problem. Mind you, let's see who else is coming. DJ Play Nice, Vanessa, Kitty, Ghost Tacticals in here. So, yeah, people starting to crawl in. Anyway, I put in my headline. I messed up my my cousin was on the phone to me. I had to. It was just before I sent out the invites. I had to kick her off the phone. I said, I got to hang up. I said, I got to get ready for my show, and so I got rid of her, sent those out, and I messed up my thumbnail. What a day. But anyway, my title was the, Major League Baseball, BS that's going on. I'm like, who cares? I haven't watched sports and I don't know how long, but that's the problem with sports today. They're getting even baseball, becoming political. Major League Baseball pulled the All-Star game from Georgia, all because of their bill that they passed on voting. Which, if they read it, they haven't stopped anybody from voting. They've made it. All they've done was made it more secure. But you can vote nearly 7 days a week the way they got it set up. But anyway, yeah, go on.
What I saw about the new voting law they passed, that's pretty much the way we vote here and always have. I don't see any problems. I think the voting should be even a little more stricter than what it is.
Yeah.
But there's nothing in it that doesn't make common sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard somebody going on about the person comes out of work, goes to the voting station, And out in Georgia, because down south it gets hot and humid, and they're not even allowed to drink when they're in line. Because what they're saying is nobody can give them anything within 50 feet of the building or whatever. I mean, that's to stop people from bribing somebody to vote a different way. Is what's that for? There's nothing stopping that person having a drink in their hand, a bottle of water while they're standing in line that close to the building. I think the crux of the matter is, right, is because of their new voter base down at the southern border, who, are all illegal and don't have IDs. It's all about voter ID is what they're really pissed off about. But if you want anything, you go to the, you have to show your ID to get in most places or buy stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of BS. And they don't want you to show your ID when you vote. It is a total crap. And it all comes back to that HR1 or S1, that bill they're trying to put through on the federal level. If that happens, you might as well say this country's gone socialist, because not a Republican will never hold the office ever again. So that's my thought on it. Then you got that two-faced son of a bitch. You can call me homophobic or whatever you want to call me, but that goddamn stupid ass. How can I say this? That gay son of a bitch. What's his name? Butt plug. Well, however you pronounce his last name. Buddha Peg or whatever it is.
Oh, Mayor Pete.
Yes, that guy. You see what he drove his car. Yeah, he drove his car towards work, stopped a couple of blocks away, took his bicycle off his bike rack, and rode his bike towards the Capitol like he rides to work every day on his push bike, on his pedal bike. I thought, you two-faced motherfucker. New Green Deal. He's still polluting the goddamn air, but he looks like he's being good because he's riding a bicycle. What an ass.
Well, he's doing a good job at being a politician.
Oh, absolutely.
No, it's just because parking's so bad by the Capitol and he doesn't want to walk.
Oh,
Image is everything to them. Even back to the water in line and things like that. If you're smart enough to have an opinion and gonna go vote, you would think you'd be smart enough to bring a bottle of water yourself if it's gonna be that much of an issue. I personally never had to wait in line that long where I needed something like that. So I think it's all just being used. They're gonna use whatever they can to make something negative out of something. So.
Well, actually, when I lived in Georgia 20 odd years ago and I voted, I stood in line. I stood in line for a good 30, 40 minutes. Because the place was packed.
See, I think that MLB was upset because they were planning on charging $25 for a small beer for the people that were waiting, and now they can't.
Yeah,
I voted all my life here in Georgia. I've never waited more than 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah, I said that when I was there, when I voted, it was 30, 40-minute wait. That was it. It wasn't that.
I've never even thought about it.
Is it really that hot in November anyways? Is it like 90 degrees out there?
No.
And people in Georgia, shouldn't you be used to that?
You're voting in a library that's an old school, and there's a water fountain on your way in the line. You just wait 3 more spots, and you can drink from the fountain.
Nobody's got a problem waiting on Black Friday or for when the new iPhone comes out.
Nah.
I remember one Thanksgiving down in Southwest Georgia, it was 85 degrees and Christmas was 75. But people who live down there are acclimated to it. Standing in line for 30 minutes will not cause, unless you've got some serious health condition, you're not going to fall over and faint. I suppose if you just moved there from a northern state, but don't you have to live there 6 months or something before you're even allowed to vote? So it's just another BS excuse is what it is.
Well, that, and they're just being reactionary. I mean, like Wheel just said, like Rick just said, never waited any longer than 30 minutes. And I would say the same thing. When I turned 18, that was the year, I think, the first election for Obama. So I turned 18, and like a month later, I was able to vote. And it's always been walk in, walk out for me. This year, I waited 3.5 hours in line. So
3.5 hours.
Yeah. I was actually, it was Night Strikes chat I was on. Rob was there. I waited in line 3.5 hours to vote. I'm going to say, normally it's walk in, walk out, see you later. I'm going to say
3.5 hours. He's that dedicated. He really wanted Biden to win that much.
Yeah. No.
Did somebody bring you water?
Did somebody come up and bring you water and snacks?
No. I wasn't too worried about it, though.
It's really not a big deal when you consider the average workday. I mean, you should be able to not use the bathroom or not need a drink or, have to go in the corner and find your safe space for more than 3 hours at a time.
You hit the nail on the head there, though, Rob. The average workday. How many people that show up in the middle of the day to vote have jobs?
Yep. But I was going to say, the other thing here, though, is while they're being reactionary to this, what are the odds that next election I'm going to have to wait 3.5 hours again? Very slim. What are the odds that an election is going to happen in the next 2 decades where I've got to have that happen again? Pretty slim, I bet.
If you waited 3.5 hours in line and after the first 30 minutes they brought you water, you got to hold it there for another 3 hours. Do you really want water in line, or would you rather wait until after you're done voting? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, if it's a bottle of water, then you just recycle while you're in line, right? You drink the bottle and you fill it.
So Rich White says the law doesn't say they can't give people water. What the law says, they can't give them a bottle of water that says to vote for a specific candidate. They have to give the water to the polling staff to distribute to the people in line. And I don't see nothing wrong with that.
It doesn't have anything to do with that. None of those things. I mean, all the companies, Coke, you name the list. I mean, insurance companies, all of them are crying about it. And it has nothing to do with the actual voting part. They're just doing that. I don't like saying virtual signaling, but that's all it is.
Oh,
it has nothing to do with the voting at all. It's just we're on the good side. We're on the good side. That's what they want to say.
Well, as I said,
that's the baseball. That's all of them.
You look underneath, as I said at the beginning, it's all got to do with voter ID because their new base they're catering for is pouring in down at the southern border, and they don't have any IDs to prove that who they are. That's their new voting base. Because I'm sorry to say this, but they just kicked the black people to the curb.
Well, doesn't New York give IDs to illegals?
Yeah,
I know there's some places. Calling out New York.
Easier than they would for me, or a local resident that loses their stuff. You can pretty much get it right then and there if you're illegal. So, and a driver's license.
It is the driver. I thought it was the driver's license or something that was just, you don't have to prove that you're,
New York gives out driving license, and a couple of other states do to illegals.
Hey, Rob, if you lose your driver's license and you got to go get a new one, if you want to make it faster, just change your name to Juan Valdez.
That should be faster and cheaper.
Yeah.
And after you do that, I'm expecting some free 100% Colombian coffee.
Yeah, then your kids get in school teaching. They don't have to stay at home. Because
would my businesses become tax-free instantly just with the name change?
You see that down in
Might be
California.
a good way to go.
Illegals get in-house schooling, but the American kids don't.
Well, yeah, you got to train them right from the start.
Oh yeah,
English words, you know.
Yeah, got to start indoctrinating them.
I like where you're going with this, Outcast. Beat them at their own game. The thing is, though, if they don't want ID to vote, like, could I drive down to Toledo to vote and nobody would know? I could say, hey, I ain't got to show you shit. Or somebody from Toledo drive up here. I mean, it's not that far of a drive.
Yeah, but then you're right. But even if they go to, legal gets issued a driving license or state ID in New York. Then they move to a state that doesn't issue licenses to an illegal, but they go to the DMV because they have a license from New York and say, I just moved here. I need to get my new whatever state you're in, say Indiana for argument's sake. I need to get my new Indiana driving license. They turn over their old one from New York. Indiana hands them a new one, and Bob's your uncle. There you go. You know?
And local elections could be an issue because it's a lot easier just to pop over a county line and try to, change colors of an area and maybe move on for state. I mean, you could get the way these people team up and bust loads of everything, and they're paid to do it. Yeah. It's a lot more convenient, and it could spread like a virus a lot quicker just on the local level.
And they're also complaining about same-day voter registration, and it's always been illegal. I mean, they stopped voter registration about 2 weeks out, I think, 10 days out, and what they want to have is like a bus of people just going from county to county voting or poll to poll and registering to vote and doing a provisional vote and get as many votes in as you get a whole busload of 40 people and go to 4 polls in a day. That's a lot of voting.
Yeah, but I read somewhere there was a couple of Democrats who are saying don't make such a big fuss over Georgia because they have taken 20 odd years to turn it back blue and don't want to mess it up by riling up the people, so I read that somewhere, because you rile up the people, it might go back red next time around. So anyway, then you have that potato standing up there at the podium trying to push his $2 trillion infrastructure deal and tax hike, which is going to make we're all pay for that one. I mean, my gas here, back in January, gas here was, I mentioned this on Wednesday, was around $2.29 or something now. Right now, it's $2.99.9 a gallon. It's gone up that much in 2 months.
I took a picture of it. I took a picture of it on January 20th. It was $1.99.
Yeah, what's it now?
Well, last time I got gas was $2.69.
Yeah, see, there you go. And that's just on gas. But you start taxing these big corporate organizations, all they're going to do is pass that. They're not going to say, oh, let's eat into our bottom line. No, all they're going to do is say, me and you are going to be paying higher prices. That's how they're going to cover the increase in taxes by us.
Or even worse, Rick, they'll take their business overseas.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Americans will lose jobs, and it just snowballs a depression.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. I mean, Trump got them all to come back, and they're going to say, fuck this, we're going back to where we were. So that's, you're right. You're right. Then, but he stands up there trying to, then I looked at somebody put up a chart where they're broken down. And just like the 1.9 trillion COVID bill, very little of this is actually going to infrastructure. It's all going to their little pet projects again.
5% goes to infrastructure.
How much?
They said 5 to 10%, depending on how you count it.
Yeah, but he stands up there and goes, I don't know if you guys saw it, stands up and goes, imagine going from coast to coast on a high-speed train. Fuck him. So these high-paying union jobs is standing there driving in spikes on a railroad. Is that what it is?
Like I'm going to go to a conference out in Vegas and take, 24 hours to take a train ride there.
Well, see, you're going to have to take this high-speed train because your fucking electric car won't make it that far. You get 300 miles, then you have to plug it in and wait a few hours for it to charge up before you can move on to the next 300 miles.
And how's that battery-operated airplane work?
Yeah, well, all airplanes will be grounded, so all you have is this train, So you got what I plan on doing is we have what's the word for it? We have an Amish. Is that how you pronounce it? What you call
Amish?
it? Yes.
Amish?
Yeah, we have what's an area where they all live here in the town. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's only down the road. Right, I'm going to go down there and buy one of their buggies, hook it up to a horse.
The trains aren't anywhere near as efficient as advertised, and all of them cost 2 to 3 times as much as they first advertised to. There's a perfect example in Hawaii where they still haven't completed one. They've started over 10 years ago. Platforms are up, all types of different issues. Yeah, it's just it doesn't add up, and then the cost and maintenance of everything as well. It's almost kind of like the windmill thing. And then look at American culture. How many people, if they have a choice, would almost rather drive in most cases? Usually that's the majority of people. Maybe not urban areas, but the cost to maintain that system isn't going to, they're not going to be able to do it without government subsidization or this or that or whatever, without taking it out of our damn pockets.
That's right. That's what they're going to do. And don't forget, back to it, your car is going to be electric. And your car is only going to go 300 miles max with its batteries.
No, I'll be a renegade. I'll be that dude on the side of the highway with the funny glasses, bandana, and cloud of smoke behind him.
Where are you going to get the gas from?
So, but look at it like this.
Recycle oil.
They can't well, speaking of oil, they can't even get a pipeline down from Canada. How the hell are they going to build a high-speed rail track from one end of the country to the other? They're going to have to build some of it. They might be able to use some existing infrastructure, but they're probably going to have to build some of it or most of it from scratch. It'll take them forever. They'll have all kinds of problems. This jurisdiction won't want it coming through. This tribe won't let it go through their reservation. It won't work here. The environmentalists will say this isn't good because it's going over a river. And you name it. There'll be 100 issues over the next 10 years. There'll be cost overruns. There'll be all these allegations of corruption. At the end of the day, we don't even end up with a high-speed rail. I can tell you,
but they end up with a lot of money.
Yeah, no kidding.
But they can't use the same rail anyways because those bullet trains are all on a mono style with magnets and stuff.
Due to that, they have to be a lot more stable than regular trains. So everything, frost lines, earthquakes, all that takes a higher effect.
There's a high-speed train that went through Connecticut because it goes from Boston. Technically, it's Amtrak from Boston to Washington, D.C. They changed all the track for a high-speed train. The train can go up to 150 miles an hour, but it has to slow down when it comes to a town. Do you know how many towns are along the track there through that area? It's not rural area. It's all built up. So the train never hits its high speed.
And that's just it. If you want to avoid all these towns and stuff, the further west you go, sure, things are more spread apart and whatnot. But like I said, you're going to have all these disputes. The government's going to have to condemn land. You're going to have people in court. You're going to have all these people. And what Rob was saying, all these different geographic conditions and all these other environmental conditions, and you've got to make it work no matter what. And the maintenance and it's a great idea in theory, but in reality, it's not practical.
Oh yeah. I absolutely agree with you. It's
my little brother's a railroad track inspector, and I mean, when heat moves those tracks out like 4 inches in the summertime, I mean, he's having to close them down. I mean, it's crazy the amount of maintenance that tracks do. I mean, and amount they move. I mean, there'd have to be a whole different technology. I'm sure there is, for the high speed trains. But
oh yeah, I mean, like up in the Northeast there, the high speed trains they're on. They're not on what you call it railroad ties. They're concrete ties they use.
Well, Japan has them. I mean, they work. It's just it's different here. Because over there they can just say we're doing this. Here they have to get permission.
Yeah, but Japan's not nearly as hot as it is here.
And it's
per mile. It's way more. Like almost 10% or higher. I can't remember the exact numbers because of the bedding that they have to lay the tracks on. In a sense, you have to be down below the frost line, all that, or a lot of them are on pillars, to avoid the ground shift and things. So it's a bit more expensive per mile of track. So cost-wise, a lot more actually. And then you got some areas have sinkholes, some areas ground softer, harder, some frost lines 18 inches, some is 4 feet. So different expenses all across.
Japan has had those trains for 50 years. We're going to be starting from scratch. It's a different. And then you got to look at the population in Japan and the population density in some of their bigger cities. And, kind of like in New York City where people don't own cars. In some of these bigger cities in Japan, I'm sure people don't own cars. So this is how you commute over there. It's a whole different thing here. We like our freedom and flexibility. I mean, I personally don't take flights if they have too many connections, or I try to take nonstop whenever possible. And I mean, for some people, maybe that's not a deal breaker, but they lose your luggage, you're transferring one thing to the other, one's running late, one's running early, you're waiting around. It's just I can't imagine that I would get on this train in Detroit and by the end of the next day, I would be in Las Vegas. I just don't, and even then, I can almost drive there in that amount of time.
Yeah, I used to take the train from here to Chicago and stuff. And obviously being blind, I can't drive, so that's the only point. And it's nice because you can sleep the whole time or whatever, and get up and walk around. It's not like, but yeah, that's just a regular Amtrak though. That's not any of this.
Well, Rich White in the chat says get Disney to build it. They have a high-speed rail. I mean, they had that monorail going all over Disney World.
That's a lot more affordable. Yeah,
and a lot of those Chicago, all those cities that have those whatever they call the same kind of thing, and nobody rides them.
Yeah, I mean, now a good example in England, right, or Great Britain, they call it public transport, buses and trains. People use them a hell of a lot more than they do over here. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot easier to get around using them. But even now,
but I've been to England, and they'll close in the fall. They've closed down the trains because leaves are falling on the track, and then I go in the winter and they close them down for snow on the track. I mean, in Czech Republic, they never close it down for snow on the track.
But yeah, I mean, I like in England right now, they are building a high-speed train from, I think it's Manchester or Liverpool, somewhere out there, down to London. And the government confiscated all the land, what they call it, eminent domain, this land. They even, I can't remember exactly the name of the forest, but there was there was a forest, an ancient forest that dates back over 1,000 years, and they leveled it. They cleared it, cut every goddamn tree down for this high speed train. And their reasoning was, well, they cut it down because we need it for the train, and for every tree we cut down, we planted 3 just a couple of miles over there. For every tree we cut down, we planted 3. but it's going to take 1,000 years for that forest to get an ancient forest like the one you just chopped down. And I doubt if it would even get that far, because more than likely when that tree gets the lumbering size, they're cut it down too. But see, the world is Hydra is taking over the world. I'm telling you, the new world order.
Forestry is a little complicated in some cases, but in some cases, it's the natural way humans would probably stop that land from naturally burning already, where it would have recycled. So, in some cases, it may not be as negative as you think. In our time period now, it may be a problem, but in the big picture of things, it's not always negative. And Hydra taking over, I think, is right, because when you consider this train thing, it's a win-win either way for them. Either it doesn't work like all the other ones, and they siphon off a bunch of money and this and that to do whatever they do with it, and gain personal wealth from it, or it does work, and now the public's under more control of the public. So you don't have your vaccination, you can't get on the train. You don't, whatever, your social credit card score isn't right, you can't get on the trains. Now you can't travel. There's an issue in this area, so we're just shutting everything down, and you got to stay at home. Look at COVID. The trains will be shut down. No reason for anybody to go anywhere. It's just another control aspect.
You ain't going to be able to travel unless you've got your vaccination anyway, because you don't have your COVID passport. So
just more dependency. That's all they get out of it. It's either money or more dependency.
Yeah. Well, I'm not getting the vaccine. I've decided. I'm not going to get it. And if they, they're saying you got to have this passport to prove you got it, I'd rather starve to death if the grocery store won't let me shop because I ain't got a fucking passport to prove that I got the vaccination. This ain't fucking Germany. I mean, all those people who died for our freedom, it's a fucking, all you're doing is spitting on their grave. This country is right now, and it fucking makes me sick. That's how pissed off I am, and that's why I'm trying not to watch the news, because I am so riled over it. It's unreal. Well,
in theory, if everybody, half the population gets their shot, they shouldn't be worried about the other half. We shouldn't be looked at as harmful individuals with no care for anybody else, because they got the miracle shot, right? So what are they worried about?
Yeah. When I had my argument with my sister, she goes, "What happens, if you make one of our relatives sick because you passed on the COVID because you haven't had the vaccination, you don't wear a mask?" I said, it would upset me, but I wouldn't kill myself over it. And I said, that's life. There's a price you pay for freedom. Freedom is not, the perfect utopia world where everything is, daisies and butterflies and unicorns.
You could ask her the same thing about the flu. What if she gives somebody in your family the flu and they end up having complications of dying? Wouldn't she feel bad? Because really, it's pretty much, numbers-wise, pretty much the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Rich
Wright says the United Nations is Hydra. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't know. I mean, we've joked about it and we've talked about it. Some people are serious thing. I mean, how do we stop all this happening? How do we stop it? I mean, you have to do it at the voting booth. But what happens if they change the rules? I mean, how far are they? How mad do we have to? I'm mad right now. If somebody, I know I'm a big
bully doesn't stop until you punch him back.
I'm a big old fat boy, but at this moment, I'm so angry right now. If there was a call to arms, I would turn up and try to sign up right now because I'm so pissed. But what's it going to take to get everybody to do that? To say we ain't taking this no more? What's it going to take?
People's backs against the wall.
It's just like gun control. They take a little bit at a time, and we keep accepting it. We keep accepting it. We keep shoving it down your throat. We keep taking it. We keep taking that step back. We're going back and back and back. And we keep taking it. I'm just not talking about gun control. I'm talking about our rights, or as an American, everything. It's just being taken away from us little by little, and we're accepting it.
Well, I think the big problem is people just let it up to somebody else to do. Unless you ran for something local or, got into something local, I don't think many people have much to complain about. If you're letting the next guy do it, if you rely on someone else to do something for you, what good is that? You're not independent. You're not. You're more dependent on them. I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
Yeah,
and it's American culture. I mean, it in a way it starts at home too, and it's kind of been derailed, in my opinion. So a lot of people see this as okay now and different things, but all in all, I personally don't think the voting is going to help us. Not after this last time around. So I think it's pretty much going to be when it personally affects enough people. So, and of course, the media and everybody will deem those people as crazy. So,
but when is there?
We'll see where it goes.
Is there going to be enough of us left when that time comes? Right now, the way I mean, if I acted out the way I feel, I don't know if I'm saying this right. I'm not saying I'm going to, but a scenario, if it got so bad, the little group of us old country boys down here in southern Indiana say we ain't taking this shit no more, and they tried to send the police down or do something because we're doing something they don't like, and we're standing there at our our fence line for argument's sake, we'll just be called fanaticals. They'll wipe us out and say, this is what it's, that's the fanaticals. That's why we got to get rid of them. But it's good. A handful of people doing something is not going to work. So I don't know what it needs. How do you what's got to piss you off enough for you to act? That's what I want to know. It's different for everybody, I guess. Well,
need to one man can't do it all by himself. I guess more people would act if there was more people willing to get together.
Yeah, you're right. It's basically. I mean, it need more people to get together. Whether it's going to take, some person that people will, rally around, I don't know. If we can't do it at the ballot box, how in the hell are we going to do it?
Like you kind of stated, people are different. I mean, people don't want to admit it, but there's a lot of guys out there that would just, somebody punched their wife, they'd just call the cops. They wouldn't react. They don't, there's a lot of people that don't, have heart like that. So basically that's all falls back to you. And what's legal and what's right, that's can be different, in my opinion. I've seen examples of that many times over the years. But needless to state, I think that's all depends on you. What are you more concerned about? Do you believe there's something after this? Are you, does it mean more to you to stand and fight for the people before you and the ones after you, even though you're demonized? Because, I think some people would rather just take that route than, I don't know, than just give in, because giving in isn't going to help either. You might not win, but it's almost like somebody tries to punk you out. Like, some people just hand it to them. Like, other people are going to fight even though they're still going to get their ass kicked, but they're not going to give it to you. And that's the difference between different people. So it's to see what happens when they get in that position.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, on that latter one that you said, get my ass. I know I'm going to get my ass whipped, but I ain't giving in. And what was it? Somebody put it. Oh,
it's respectable.
Yeah, I mean, gun loving grandpa. Basically, we're not going to be able to take on the federal government as they are right now. We need to do it at state level. I mean, you think about it. 19 states now have constitutional carry because just passed it. The governor just signed it the other day. Was it Friday? Yesterday or Thursday? One of them states that begins with an I. Can't think of it. Which one it is now? Damn, my brain's gone there.
Iowa.
That's it.
And Tennessee passed it in the House and Senate, just waiting for the
governor. The governor said he's going to sign it, so that'll be 20 states that will get constitutional carry, right? So I mean, we need more state. So we need to do stuff at state level. We need state level to stand up to because they're the people that are at the federal government. Those people we vote in and send up there, they get corrupt. They don't do it. They might do something their first term or try to, but then they get sucked into the system. It's like, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's what's happened to all them politicians that land up in Washington, D.C. They come part of the swamp. Then, I mean, all them politicians now, I mean, don't get me wrong. That woman from Colorado who's on the gun, she's big on Second Amendment, and carrying and stuff like that. I mean, really.
Lauren?
Yeah.
Lauren Bob, something.
Yeah.
Something with a B.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to find her address.
I mean, they're already. I'll guarantee her people are already working on how to get reelected. That's what is get reelected. Keep my money coming in. Keep making money. Get myself set up. Because I mean, even what's her name, AOC, right? This is her second term, and she's already a millionaire. How? When you only earn $174,000? How? You know what I'm saying?
Insider trading. It's legal for them.
Yeah.
Public thinks it's not, but then they snuck back in and changed that in another forum later one night. And basically now it is again.
Hey Rick, I got something to kind of throw out there. I don't know if anybody else noticed it.
You what?
Just to kind of tie this into eventually to guns, but with that Suez Canal,
yeah,
right? You had the little boat all sideways. I call it a boat because that just makes people upset. There was I believe it was a professor from A&M or one of them Texas places that was saying that, hey, we got to look at how to fix that, right? Because a boat got stuck.
Yeah.
But the whole idea is how many millions of tons of stuff goes through that every day and have for the last how many years, right? And then they're wanting to change stuff. And that's kind of, relates with the firearms things that happen. So I didn't know if anybody else noticed that.
No.
That they want, they're saying, well, we can't have this, but other than that, thousands and thousands of tonnage go through there every day, millions or whatever.
Yeah. What I couldn't believe the other day, because I was on YouTube, sitting in my recliner, watching YouTube on my television, and I'm looking at all kind of different videos, from people doing homesteading to living in an RV. I look at all kinds of stuff besides gun videos and everything else. But I happened, it was 5 o'clock, and I happened to see that Never Enough Ammo was doing his hasty opinion daily show, and so I clicked on it, and he's rambling on. Hasty headlines. No, they're his. He reads them, then he gives you a 20-minute irate yelling at his opinion. But anyway, where I was going with it is going to do that, but I was reading the chat and talking about that canal. Somebody in that chat asked where the Suez Canal was. Didn't you fucking learn that in school? You know what I'm saying? I thought, oh my God, they don't even teach that in school anymore?
Americans are notoriously bad at geography. But to the canal, most of those, you get boarded and separate harbor masters going to actually be the ones, moving that ship through them. Same thing with most locks nowadays. And it's usually not even under its own power. It's normally escorted with tugboats. So it makes you wonder how the hell that happened. I mean, maybe they do something different there than they do most other places, but it was probably some type of major screw up if it was done in any kind of normal way. So that's probably why it doesn't happen every day. So I'd wonder, were they all drunk? Maybe there was an engine failure, abnormally strong currents. I would think there must be more than just everybody made it, but this one guy just, hit it sideways. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he had lost power, supposedly.
Yeah. But anyway, back to what I said earlier about the people first termers up in Congress. Goes Technical says they don't. When I said they get sucked into the swamp, he goes, not necessarily sucked in. They don't have a choice. They will be buried in terrible committees and will have heavy opposition next election if they don't play ball. Right? But they don't have choice. Yes, they do have a choice. If they lose the fucking election, so be it. That's what I'm saying. And then that goes back to us as a nation of people who think that the country's going to hell, right? All we're doing is we keep taking back. Basically, excuse my language, everybody, is basically what we're doing is we're bending over, letting them give us a shaft in the ass, and they're not even using Vaseline. And we're taking it. That's what it feels like right now.
Yep. And everybody puts their hope in the next politician to fix it.
Yeah. It's, I said, that's why I'm not watching it, and that's why I get so mad, and I'm trying to stay away from it. But it makes you want to cry to see in 2 months how I maybe it was being destroyed before, but it just seems since the potato head, our imbecile, is in office there, it is gone downhill so quick, so fast. It's frightening.
Been this way. It's just more public now.
You think that's what you think it has? I don't know. I think so. I
think so. Just with Cuomo in New York, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I say it all the time. I don't know anybody that ever votes for the guy. So unless everybody in New York City votes, I don't know how the hell he's winning every time. Not necessarily now, but a lot of these guys, locals aren't really thrilled because the city gets everything, we get shafted, and then we get forced to deal with the city riffraff, and all the landlords get screwed, and it's almost like a bad word here. So, so when you mentioned New York City or something, so I don't know. I think the whole thing's just kind of illusion at this point. So it's you can pick a red car or a blue car. The roads go bend different ways, but you always end up at the same damn place. So.
Yeah, you're right. So, anyway.
You know what, Rick? There's something else to consider.
Yeah.
You've got time for this. Most people don't have time for this. I'm not saying that, oh, well, people don't care, so they're not paying attention, or people don't care, so they're not up in arms. Honestly, Rick, you've got as much free time as you want. You make your own schedule. You don't get up at 6, gulp down some coffee, fight traffic to go to work 8-10 hours a day, deal with bullshit, run errands on the way home, come home, help kids with homework, and by the time it gets time to sit down and watch the news, you're just tired and you just want to go to bed, and you get up and do it again. You've got enough time that you can watch YouTube or listen to the radio or watch the news or whatever. Or sit at the diner and talk with people for 2 hours, do these shows, stuff like that. A lot of people don't have time for that. So in some ways, they're not involved because they don't know, or they're not involved because they just don't feel that they have the time. And everybody's got to make choices for their life, what they're willing to do or whatnot. And I'm not saying everybody needs to have their arm put behind their back and they need to 2 hours a day and all, but there are a lot of people that all they want to do is just get up, send their kids to school, go to their job, come home, and enjoy what precious little free time they have left for themselves. So if gas goes up a little bit, they don't care. If, they start pushing the vaccine, they don't care, especially if their employer says, you got to take this, and if you want to keep this job or something like that. I'm not saying that people they're not bad people. Okay. They're not bad people, but I don't get as riled up over this stuff because I'm so busy. You know what I mean? And I think there's other people that are like that. I feel that I'm somewhat responsible because I'm somewhat involved. I'm more involved than the person I call him Cheeto Man. They sit on the couch eating Cheetos, stroking their SKS while the rest of us do all the work. But some of these things don't get me as upset because so many things happen every single day. And, there's lots of, we're just busy with our lives. We're not, I wouldn't call that selfish per se. There's a balance. You just got to find a balance. And I think your balance is way too much on, you've got so much free time that you have this in your face. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you should ignore it and go do something else, but you have time to sit and think about it or talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
You could be desensitized to it, Squid, in a sense, to where it doesn't bother you much. And, after you're in it for a while, it's normal for them to screw you over. So you pick the worst of the two evils because that's what they all do. Blah blah blah. At least this evil bastard's on my side. I actually think I've heard you say something similar to that. So in a sense, it just might be complacency to the crooked ass system, but it still doesn't mean it's right. And I think once same thing with dealing with a toddler. When you know the difference of right and wrong, then you're doing wrong by not acting on it. So, I just think a lot of people are lazy, selfish, and complacent. Not stating you are, but just in general, everybody wants the easy route out. That's just normal life now.
So because Biden is letting so many more illegals in and the cost of fuel has gone up, we all need to get our guns and go down to Washington, D.C.? ?
Well, we need to not Washington D.C., but we need to. We need to get. I don't know what to do. That's the problem. There's a problem, and I don't have a solution. I guess that's why I'm getting so worked up over it because I'm mad because I can't figure out a solution. But also, what you said, I totally understand where you're coming from. Yeah, I do have that time because I'm on disability, so I don't work. I can get up and go to bed when I choose. You said I can go down the diner and speak for a couple of hours. What you forgot is I can go take a nap in the afternoon too if I want to.
But back in 2008, the Tea Partiers all went to Washington. They all went to their states. They all protested. Well, now protesting, can land you in jail. All it takes is one fire extinguisher to a security guard's head, and the whole crowd is banned as vigilante attacking Nazis, and next thing you know, everybody that went to that protest is going to jail. That's the reality of 2021. We're in COVID lockdown, and only Republicans are Nazis that are spreading COVID. Anytime we get together, where Black Lives Matters can burn down and do $20 billion in damage, and they're showing their anger that's built up because nobody's listening to them. Well, nobody's listening to us, So I don't know. It's a different landscape than 2008.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, and I understand what Squid's saying. He's got a job. He has to get up, go to work, come home, take care of the kids, the house, make sure all this stuff's done. Then he's got to do it all again tomorrow. I understand that, and I don't. But the only problem is, in the big picture, there's not enough of us who are sitting at home, if that's what you say, or disabled or retired. There don't seem to be enough of us to get together to do what we got to do. We need. You've got the. I mean, you do, Square, but I'm talking to the general. They need to find time to make change. Otherwise, that's how these politicians keep getting elected, election after election after election, because of life. People say, I ain't got time to do that. I got to take care of my family. I got to work. I got bills to pay. They just keep voting for the same people because it's just easier that way.
Well, Squib is kind of different. He actually goes in and does all that work, but he still understands, and he at least knows a bit about what's going on. He's not that's what I said. There's a lot of people that I worked with that they were totally oblivious. They just took the little card from their union rep, and that's who they voted for, and they didn't pay attention to nothing because none of it mattered. They're all liars. They're all cheaters, whatever. So as long as you understand that you have to put the effort for, and if you can kind of push that to somebody they work with, hey, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
But a little bit of effort goes a long way.
Yeah. I don't know if New York Outcast, are you on a computer or your phone?
Phone.
Okay, because DJ Play Nice is tagged you in the chat. He's got the address and stuff for that Congresswoman, that Lord Bovart. He put it in for you.
Okay.
So you want me to copy it for you?
If you can, or I can try to go back later and screenshot it or something, so I can get it down. But thank you. Yeah, public address would be awesome for her. So I want to send her one of my display stands.
All right. Let's see if I can get it. Let me see how I can do this. All right, hang on. Let me see if I can do it this way. Where are we going? Will it let me put it in there?
Apparently, she owns a restaurant in Rifle, Colorado, too. She's the owner of that.
I put it in the internal chat.
Okay.
I put it in the
screenshot it from there.
All right.
Apparently, they encourage people. They only hire people that carry firearms or something like that.
Yeah,
so
they all wear. I see that they don't. All their waitresses, because I think it's mainly all women in there for some reason. They all wear their pistols open carry on their hips when they're serving drinks and shit and food.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so anyway, let's talk about guns. Let's talk about guns. My check came in late yesterday afternoon. My $1,400. I finally got it. So it's burning a hole in my pocket. And I am, if I can find one, I'm going to buy an AR. Believe it or not. shooting that one the other week has converted me. You know, because I was shooting that, and it was a 5.56, and I mean, it wasn't hurting. It didn't hurt my shoulder, with anything else, and it was sweet. It had a red dot on it, which you could change from red to green. I had trouble seeing it on red, but I changed it to green that I could see the target. Beautiful on it.
Yeah. So. Gonna need a nice display stand for that thing when you get it.
Yeah. Oh, well, what's called it? Rich White said he emailed it to you. The info to you, New York.
Okay, thank you. I got it off DJ too, but I'll check and just confirm they both line up or see which one I'd rather.
Yeah, so I need to get. So, are they available right now? I mean, or would it be cheaper to go to somewhere like and buy an upper and a lower and put it together myself?
You have to look. My gun store is just packed full of AR-15s.
So what's the
price? He actually had Rugers down in like the $750 range, which is a lot better than people that want $1,000. He's got another Colt AR for $1,200, but then on up it goes to like Daniel Defense Rifles and Wilson Combat, so it goes to like 14, 16, and then 2,800 real quick.
I mean, that's not even my price range.
Yeah, but he had several though in like the $600 range, but I can't remember the name.
That's my kind of gun.
Can't exactly remember the names. They weren't like a popular name, but they were still complete ARs.
Are you looking to do a rifle or pistol, Rick?
Rifle.
Let's say, I mean, either way, if you do enough homework online, looking at all the different sites, things like that, I still think you could get one built for $500 or slightly less even, but you're going to put in a lot of work bouncing around between all the sites. If you're not wanting to bother doing that, like Jason just said, I know a couple local shops here have had the Rugers in the 750 range. My local shop has been selling complete PSA rifles, as much as I hate to say that, for about $600. I think you can actually order the PSA rifles offline still for the $550 to $600 mark also. So, yeah, just a little bit of homework and you can get yourself a pretty good deal.
Oh, okay. All right. So
I'd say go for that PSA 5 or 6. I mean, it's a little more than what it should be, but it's not jacked, and you're probably not somebody that's going to put thousands of rounds a year through it, so it wouldn't really make a difference anyway. Get you in the game at a reasonable price. And the way things are going, there might be another spike in that $600 AR. Might be $1,200 in another few months.
Yeah, Ozzy Osborne says he recommends this Smith & Wesson Sport 2. Very good gun.
Yeah, the problem with Smith & Wesson is every time I see one, it's $999.
Yeah,
and 6 months ago, that was $599.
Yeah.
My local shops actually had the Smith & Wessons multiple times in the last couple months for about $650. So again, check your local shop, see what they can get. If you don't want to order offline or anything, just go into your local shop. Say, hey, I want to get an AR. I'm looking at these options: Smith, Ruger, PSA, Bear Creek, Arrow. See what they can get you.
No, I don't have a problem. Nearly. I would say. How many have I got? I would say half of my collection. I only got 10. I think it's 10. I mean, 5 of them I bought online. Actually, it might even be more of that I bought online. So I don't have a problem buying guns online.
If it comes down to like a $50 difference, I definitely go with the Smith & Wesson. just warranty sakes. I know they say PSA stuff's warranted, but I personally dealt with Smith & Wesson, and they were a blessing. I know other people have had other reports, but, they sent me free shit I didn't even need. So,
also that Smith & Wesson 1522 I had is almost identical to the Sport, to that one. So, that was a great. I never had trouble with that gun whatsoever at 22. I wish I kept it now, but I got a lever action, which I wanted. So that was a good swap for me.
Why don't you get an Anderson?
An Anderson.
Yep.
100% American made.
What kind of price?
I don't know. I always bought the lowers and parts kit and uppers and stuff like that. I never bought one complete. You'd probably have to have it shipped to your FFL and do a transfer, but their prices aren't killer. Some people think they're junk because back in the day, you could get a lower receiver for $30 or $40. So they instantly thought they were junk. And Anderson makes really good stuff. There are other companies that buy parts off of Anderson and rebrand them under their name. And somebody goes, "Look at me, I bought this one." Yeah, you bought the same thing, but you paid $10 more.
Yeah.
Yep. In their early days, they were having a little bit of problems just with quality control. People that really wanted to nitpick, they were, the finish isn't even. Maybe. Oh,
we lost him. He's having audio issues today. Nikki's dropped.
I'm over at grabagun.com.
Yeah.
I've never dealt with it, but I've been watching them lately. And the handguns I've been looking at were an okay price. So I went over here to the AR-15s, and in stock right now, they have the Ruger AR-15. It's $1,000.
Jesus Christ.
They have the Smith & Wesson M&P Sport 2. It's $1,000. They're all $999.99. It goes all the way down to the list, all of them. Everybody's in stock. They got Springfield Saints for $1,150. They're all $1,000 right now.
Jesus.
Yeah, what sucks is the AR-15 is a $500 gun all day long, and these prices are just crazy.
Yeah. You know what other gun I would like? It's not a rifle, but it's a handgun. And problem is, I don't want to give that company my money. Is the Springfield? Is it the? How do you pronounce it? The Rowan 1911. RONIN. I think it's how they.
Yeah, I saw that pistol.
That looks. I've only seen a picture of it, but it looks beautiful to me. But I don't want to get.
Use one.
Yeah, everything's I like about that pistol too, except for the Springfield Armory label on the side.
Yeah, I don't want to give them my money. So because of what I still ain't forgiven them yet. For their antics there in Illinois. So there we go. But yeah, I'll do some searching on the internet for.
Well, I'll say this grab a gun is a little high because the Colts, like I just bought one, and my dealer still got one. I gave $11.99. Now back in the day, everybody cried about the Colts because it's $1,200, and you can go to PSA and get $500 one. But now look at it. If it was only $100, $200 difference between a Colt and a Ruger or a Smith & Wesson, you know what I mean? It doesn't make that Colt look that bad anymore. But over here on Grab a Gun, their same Colt that I just got, the 6920 LE, is $1,599. So it's $400 more than what my local shop sells it for.
Yeah.
So the price is just like way up.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm looking. I shouldn't be doing this. I should be keeping an eye on the show there. But I brought up the deals on PSA.
Yeah, I think if you can go PSA, somebody chime in on it. I think you want to look at one of them that has like the premium package on the upper. That way you get a good name brand barrel and stuff like that. There's like your basic model or something at PSA, and then there's a little bit better.
Actually, when you're looking at an upper, you could type in hand forged and just take anything that's hand forged. That's going to be your best, or cold forged. I think it's called hammer forged. I got one that was hammer forged, and it turned out it was made by FN in South Carolina.
Yeah, that's what it's getting at. maybe it's premium. Maybe they call it premium on there. But if you get their basic one.
Somebody's got feedback here.
Put your money in the upper. Don't worry about the lower. The lower could be anything. The lower is not important, but even though that's kind of where the status symbol of the brand comes in, but it's the upper that counts. That's where your barrel is. That's where your rifle is. That's where it's either hammer forged or not. That's where your grip is and how that is, whether it's an M-lock or key mod. So that's where you really want to put your the extra $100 in up there if you can.
Yeah. Oh, DJ Play Nice just put a link in the chat there to Anderson, an AM15 optic ready 6.5 Grendel. I mean, I don't know if I want that. I'd rather go with the 5.56 personally. But where I'm going with this, $644.99. Ain't a bad price. The actual. I'd rather have a 5.56 myself, because once you get to those other calibers, you're talking more money, aren't you, on price?
Yeah, the Grendels back in good times, it was $26 a box of 20. So. That's not where you really want to go.
Yeah. The price is right. The actual right. So.
But if you buy them separate, you save $100 tax right there. So you're getting more for your money if you buy a separate upper as a lower.
Yeah. So.
Once they made them together, there's the government's charging that $100 tax.
You see, the thing I like about
somebody's giving feedback. Is that you, William Alarmed? Go on, Squib.
The thing I like about the lower and the upper being separate isn't really so much the cost savings, because you can get one that's fully loaded, ready to go out of the box, and then you start changing out parts. Now, if you've never had an AR-15 and you don't know, then having a complete AR-15 kind of gives you a baseline, and then you start to realize I kind of want to change this, I kind of want to change that. Whereas if you assemble one, you can order the upper pretty much any way you want, and then you can just put whatever you want on the lower. But even if you get a complete lower and a complete upper, a lower is a lower is a lower. There are differences in the upper. There are things, some people don't like the forward assist, so you get one without a forward assist. Some people want a better bolt in there. Some people are lefties, so they want one that's special made for left hand. Some people want it to come with sight. Some people don't care if it's got sight, whether you got the A2 sight on the front, or you've got the rail all the way down and you can put whatever you want. Some people want different hand guards on there. There's a chrome line barrel and not a chrome line barrel. I mean, the list goes on and on, all the different things. The barrel lengths, right? Do you want a heavy barrel? Do you want a fluted barrel? All these things can come on that upper. So you could get an upper that's more conducive to what you want if you're particular about something, and drop it on pretty much any lower. But if you don't know what you want, then, it might be somewhat of a crapshoot.
Now, isn't the lower the part that's got the serial number on it?
Yes. When you buy a bare lower, it's classified as an other. And that's the transferable item. So you can literally buy that bare lower with the serial number on there and put all the other parts on there, and it's absolutely 100% legal.
Okay. Oh, PSA has a Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport 2 5.56 NATO, $799.99, $800.
Buy it.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
$800 is a good deal.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID, that was $600. So, yep.
Plus a display stand.
I think you're just paying for the name. I think there's a bunch of Smith & Wesson fanboys out there that I could stamp Smith & Wesson on a high point and they'd say, this is the best handgun I've ever shot.
No, they work, and they actually answer the phone, and you can understand who you're talking to.
Dude, to some extent, an AR is an AR is an AR. There are people who say, "Oh, my lower's better because it costs twice as much
I'm
as
just
yours."
talking about. I don't have any Smith & Wesson, and so I have no money in that game. But what I'm talking about is a Smith & Wesson AR is a much better than a Ruger AR. A Ruger AR starting out, it's a piece of crap. So there is a difference, and I know the difference in that Smith & Wesson. I looked at it; it's a good one.
They're all mil spec. They're all the same.
What brand was that was just for sale, Rick? For $800?
Smith & Wesson. What you call it? They're hang on.
Okay, just the Smith & Wesson one.
The Sport 2.
Yes. Well, man, I got a whole set of Magpul furniture, stock, grip, and 4-in grip, man. Get your AR, I'll send it to you, man. So it make your $800 rifle a little better, man. Make it feel better.
Yeah. The 800 to me is a lot of money. You know, I'm a cheap ass. None of my guns. I've never paid that much for a gun.
You're getting a good warranty and a good solid name behind it. So if you get in a jam later or something and do decide you want to get rid of it, I personally think you'll get more and have an easier time with resale. Like the values there, if that makes sense, over something like a PSA, in my opinion.
Rick, you can just go to a local shop. You got like Dunham's or any of those whatever sport stores. You can pick up. I picked up an extra one because I was building one for my daughter, and I believe it was just a Delton, but I paid $575 for it. This was in the middle of, this was I don't even remember when it was, a couple months ago. So you can find them cheaper, and as much as you're going to shoot it, that's what you got to weigh. Yeah, you can have one that perfect warranty, but if you only shoot it, 5-6 times, every month, is it really going to be worth, not getting picked on by Rob? That's up to you, but you can get, if you piece one up together that's a little cheaper, that's fine. You're not, some operator rolling around in the dirt, like Rob. So I would weigh that too.
You're right.
The bolt might be rougher. Pulling a charging handle might be a little rougher. It might not be as smooth and nice, but that gives you something to do to work on. And once you get that base, then you can upgrade. Or you can talk to people. You talk to enough people online here. I'm sure everybody on here has a pile of extra stuff that they're never going to use that might be better than what you got. So I would get into it and just, not try to overextend. Rob will be the next guy that says you should save $50 for that salad for next month.
Yeah.
Just picking on you, Rob.
I think I'm tinkering with the gun store next week. See what they have.
Rick, if you're tinkering with the AR all the time, you'll quit watching news and you'll quit sitting at Deb's with them boys talking about all this stuff, and you'll forget about your troubles.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
It's a freedom rifle, Rick. It's as American as apple pie, man.
It is.
Personally, I think a lot of this tinkering is just playing around with some cases. It seems like every 2 years, everybody's got to get the next cool thing out. A few years back, it was the 4 grips, and It's like if you don't have Magpul, you ain't shit or something nowadays. Like, I personally think that's all just preference bullshit. And you're going to go broke keeping up with the Joneses. A basic stock AR has done the job for years. Anything else is just a little bit of a preference. So don't get sold on all the extra bullshit. You're the most important part of the rifle as far as actually doing the job it's intended to do.
Yeah. See, I mean, I don't know enough about them, to be honest with you. So I mean, really, like when I had that 22, I had that set up. It had flip ups, front and back sights, and I had a red dot on it, and it was co-witnessed. That's what I want, in 5.56. That's what I'm looking for.
See, Rob's right about mil-spec has been around for years and it works just fine, and it does. A lot of people either think mil-spec means it's indestructible, which that isn't true, or they think mil-spec is crap because they don't really have experience with it and they just listen to these big YouTube channels that like to create drama in order to get views, okay? They don't really understand how it works. But the thing is that Smith & Wesson, that Ruger, that Anderson, that Aero Precision, that Delton, that PSA, they're all almost the same. Seriously, they are. Some of them might have a few better parts in them or better options, more options. Some of them might be available when all the other ones are out of stock. There might be a price difference that is or something else like that, or there could be maybe a warranty issue or some things. And these are all things that everybody's bringing up that I think are good characteristics to look at. But for the most part, they're almost all mil-spec, and that's a baseline. And it's a baseline that functions, so they're literally almost all the same. As much as I might like one brand over another, it's just because I use that brand more or something like that, or contacted this company and they could not guarantee me that every part in their gun was made in America or some silly crap like that. But for the most part, they're all mil-spec and they all run. As far as if you have a failure with your rifle, that's something where if there's a warranty, yeah, you can send it back and do all that stuff. But a lot of this stuff is easy. You can fix this stuff on your kitchen table. Some of this stuff. I'm not saying it's like in the TV shows where you can just take a file to it and it's full auto or any of that other garbage. But it's very, if you can do brakes on your car, you can work on an AR-15. One of the things I like about it. So in the process of changing something out because you don't like it or you want to get the latest and greatest because you're keeping up with the Joneses, you also learn how to fix the platform. And let's say that later on you want to get into 300 blackout or something else like that. You could just keep the lower and just drop a different upper on there and boom, you're ready to roll. So no matter what you do, it's an investment. It's an opportunity to learn. And whatever one you end up with, as much crap as any of us will give you over it, it's probably going to be just fine.
As long as you eat a salad.
All right. That sounds good. I appreciate that, Squib. You're right. It's, a good example of what you were talking about is I swear by Ballistol. That's what I use to clean all my weapons. Some people won't even touch the stuff. It's expensive, but I like it. But I say I like it. That's what I started with. And so I'm keeping with it, Oh, there we go.
If you don't mind, I'd just point something out about warranties. I mean, that's one of the selling things to me, because thinking of kids or passing things on. I don't want to get particular or just because I have it, that's the way to go. But there is some companies that do offer warranties that, the guns aren't priced that high to where if for some reason you do shoot out a barrel or something, they replace it, no problem. And you can pass that off to your friend, your kid, whatever, as long as they own that product in the companies in business, they'll replace, anything like that. Kind of referring back to what Squib was saying about a lot of the parts are cheap and easy. He's right on that. You can buy kits for change springs for $2.50, all types of, the shipping in some cases might cost you more than the part you need. but some parts aren't that way, and some people have less skill than others. So I think that really hits home on resale or something to pass down because of the fact that it's at a level that the company's willing to bet most people are never going to shoot it out, that they're going to have to replace one anyway. So, it's maybe just a little bit better. So with a company like that, I think, you're paying a little more for that aspect of it. And a cheap bastard like me, that's even appealing to me. So I'd just add that about warranties. Sometimes it's attractive to people.
Yeah,
I remember you need your parts to reload.
Hey, Rick.
Because you don't have any 223, do you yet? Make sure you save enough for making them.
Problem is if I buy this thing, am I going to be able to find the ammo for it? So
not right now.
Here's if you got something to write it down, Rick. I got a price for you.
Yeah.
Came from gun loving grandpa Buck Stanley.
Yeah.
Gun.deal.com.
Gun doc.
Gun and then dot deal. Just like the .com, it's a dot deal. It's not gun deal, it's gun.deal.com. They have the Smith & Wesson AR-15 for $689.
Wow.
And I can get behind what Outcast. I can get behind what Outcast is saying about the value that's in a warranty. That's one of the reasons I don't buy used vehicles and buy new ones, because of that warranty.
Yeah. Anyway, what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say now. I'm all totally lost my train of thought. I really have. But yeah, so
I put that name in the side chat.
Yeah. Okay, appreciate it. All right, I got it.
Warranty just sold 8 windows for me like nothing, because these windows, doesn't matter what happens, you break them, they'll custom make a new sash for you, and it'll be ready in about 3 days because they're custom made. Just call in the number, the little code on the sash, and boom, everybody loves them. They don't even care, and they're like basically the same price as your average window. Like, especially if you walk down to Home Depot or something and good luck getting one zone in your area that actually is going to fit right without doing a bunch of bullshit on the side. But those windows sell themselves as soon as I bring that aspect up. Or the landlords, how many times does a tenant or somebody bust a window? I mean, if all you got to do is call it in, you don't even need tools to replace it. You push the little buttons and pop it out. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Now I just brought that gun deal up, and right in the front page, on the main page, Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport 2556, $769.99. So it's gone up.
Does that one have Magpul furniture or something on it?
Oh, I don't know. It looks like it.
I would just go to their
shit if it don't have Magpul.
I just go to their selection or go to rifles or whatever it is, and then go down to AR-15s and see what they got over there.
Yeah, because that picks up from different places, right? That's not they don't sell it. They're list of other retailers, right? Is that?
I don't know. I'll look at it.
I think they're one of those that they find all the deals everywhere.
Yeah. So we'll see. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look at that, but next week, well, what's tomorrow? Sunday? Is Easter? Monday, I'll be down the diner. And I'll get my buddy, and either Monday or Tuesday, we'll make arrangements to head down to the local gun store and see what they have. There's actually 2 or 3 gun stores in the area. So we're I'll go if I can't find anything out there. then I will go to the online thing. So that's the way I'm going to do it. Because then you got to add in the transfer fee cost on top of that, which I don't know what it is. I think it's, I don't even know how much they charge you. I've never asked. So I'll have to find out what the average price is around here for transfers.
Well, you can avoid that a lot of times. If your gun shop doesn't have what you're looking for, you can ask them, what's the price? Can they order one, get it in, and then they won't charge you the transfer fee. It's just wrapped up in the gun sale. So it's usually that little bit cheaper, but you might have to wait.
Yeah. That's how that's like my my pimp gun, my carry gun, my Performance Center 380.
Okay.
And my 45 Colt single action, I ordered them through the gun store, and they ordered them and they called me when they came in, mind you, for the 380, it took a while for that one to come in because when I ordered it, there wasn't any at the distributor. This is going back last year when I ordered it. I remember I had to wait about 4 weeks for it. But the Colt, I got it in 7 days. They called me up and said, it's here. So, yeah. I'll go down there and see what they got, So, give me a chance to look, see if there's any local supplies out there, too. I need small primers.
And make sure you ask if they don't have it, because maybe the shop, maybe they're getting them, $20 cheaper than what you see it online. I doubt it, but you never know. Or they might say, it's 150 over or something. So,
yeah. Well, but talking about guarantees and warranties or whatever, doesn't PSA do the same thing? Don't they warranty all their stuff?
They claim they do. If you buy direct from them, supposedly they do, but that's 100% direct from them. So I don't know.
Guns and Barbecue, he's having issues today, and he dropped out. I was going to see what he was going to say. I said that. All right, guys, it's coming up to 4:30. And I'm about ready to wind this up. The cats are getting hungry. I'm getting hungry.
Did you do your quiz?
What?
Did you say your quiz question?
Yeah, I'm going to get to that because don't forget it's every 2 weeks, so I don't do the drawing until next Saturday. And by the way, I got your email. You're wrong.
Okay.
You need to re-enter.
All right. I was just joking anyway.
I know. So anyway, why are you talking about that? My quiz. This is for a swag pack. It'll be done. The drawing will be done next Saturday because I'm doing them every 2 weeks right now. Until it'll be done on the 10th because everything being shut down. There's not a lot of people aren't giving away a lot of stuff, but I believe a bunch of people are going to Wanamaker. So that and everything's starting to open back up, like the big gun shows. The NRA's meant to have one. I know people don't like it, but they have a great gun show. If they're still around. I believe it's going to be in where are they moving it to? Houston this year. So, there'll be plenty of swag around that you guys greatly send to me, which I do appreciate. But anyway, that's why. But the question I want to know in the Clint Eastwood movies, where the Scheduetzlins, the three of them, I want to know what his character in each movie, what his nickname was in each of the movies. Email me at rickslife@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. So there you go. Get that into me by next Saturday for the swag pack. There we go. All right. Let's start winding. Actually, no salad today because I don't have any. I might go shopping tomorrow since I've got my check, but I run out of salad stuff. I had so much lettuce and tomatoes and stuff. I still got one tomato left, but my lettuce went soggy. So I had so much of it, but I had to throw it away. So I'm just going to, so for lunch, I'm going to barbecue. I'm going to throw some burgers on the grill and just have, I got plenty of onions. So slice an onion and throw and a tomato, no lettuce,
A way to get around that waste is, I don't know if you're willing to do it, but you could switch up and do a salad every day for lunch. And then you can throw a lot of times leftovers right into the salad, depending on what you have, and kind of kills two birds with one stone, and your intestines and everything will work good, and you won't be full of shit like most people, literally.
Yeah. Well, I said I was making salads, not every day, but I was eating them quite often. I didn't eat it just once a week. I had it maybe, 2 or 3 times a week. I was making myself a salad, either for lunch or having it for dinner. But I said I had a lot of lettuce. I bought too much, because I'm becoming that get off my lawn type of guy. I don't, even though it's only to get to town. I believe the closest grocery store that sells produce, or any store that sells produce, is, I would say, it's a 15-minute drive. It's the closest one. And maybe 20 minutes. And I just don't want to do it. 20 minutes there, got to go and do your shopping. Got to load it in the car. 20 minutes back, unload it. It just ain't worth it. That's how bad.
Farmer's market?
No. Well, the market is in the same place as the grocery store.
Okay, just curious. Now, I know I always say salad, but it's generally greens. So if you can deal with like green beans, man, those are great. Like fresh green beans from a farmer's market, you can just eat those like candy. I mean, I don't know unless you got something against green beans. I know that you're not a casserole fan, but
Michael, I tell you what I have been snacking on, and I still got another bag left. I forgot to mention it is raw baby carrots. I love eating carrots raw, but I hate them.
Dude.
You cook a carrot, and I won't. I like if carrots are in a casserole or a soup. I scoop them out and don't eat them. I hate soft carrots, but I'll eat a raw, cold carrot, no problem.
Rick, 40 minutes round trip to the store. Like you've got anything else going on that's pressing that you're running late for. I drive 40 minutes one way to my job. Jeez, dude.
Hey, I used to drive an hour and a half each way for my job at one time. So I know what you're
saying. 20 minutes
uphill both ways.
It's supposed to be nothing for you.
I know, but I'm getting old grouchy and old in my old age. But I did find out. I'm getting tempted now. I forgot. That's why I'm bringing it up, because the store is called Holiday Foods. They have 3 branches in this area, and they get this. They carry your groceries to your car for you. How about that? Hey, when was the last time you had that happen?
At the commissary on base. That's about the last time I remember that happening.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you're right. I worked for the commissary and the baggers did that. But I remember when I was a kid, during the school holidays, I used to bag groceries in the commissary. Yeah, but this grocery store, they carry the groceries out to you. So that's one of their little perks to fight against the big box stores. So they're still in business, so it must be working. So I might go try them out. I might drive down there tomorrow. As you said, I got nothing pressing. I could go down there after I leave.
And take a peek. You don't know until you check it out.
I do see that. See, that adds another 5 to 7 minutes on my journey because the diner was in the opposite direction. I actually have to come past my house to go to the grocery store, But that's okay. What I'll do is instead, I know how to get around. I know how to drive past it. I'll go to I'll take a piss before I leave the diner. That way I won't have to stop at the house. Because once I stop at the house, I might not make it back. You know what I'm saying? I might just once I put this is how old and grouchy I'm getting. Once I'm indoors, I hate leaving again. So I need to do everything while I'm out. That's why, like, when I, this is how old and grouchy I get. I make all my doctor's appointments for the morning. I normally miss going to the diner because I'd rather do if I have a doctor's appointment, I do it in the morning because I don't want to go. I want to get it done and out the way to have all the rest of my day free. And why? Because I don't do anything. I don't know why. I just, oh God. I think what it is, I've been with my hips being, because I had the left hip done 3 years ago. I was in so much agony with that one than my right hip the last few years since being here. I really haven't done anything for 6-7 years, literally, because of being such agony with my hips and my back. Now I'm walking. I don't even, my cane's in the other room leaning against the wall. I haven't used it for a couple of weeks now. I walk without my cane. Sometimes when I'm tired, I waddle when I walk. But normally I can walk pretty good, but I'm out of shape. I need to start walking or do exercises to get in shape. But I got to be careful what exercises I do because my back still hurts. Even sitting here, I got my brace on, and I still have pain in my back. But I'm more mobile than I've been in 7 or 8 years. So, I got in a rut because I couldn't do anything. Now that I'm able to move now, so I need to start jumping in the truck and going down to the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? I need to get out of the rut that I've got myself in. So that's all. I just thought I'd throw that life in there for you guys to know what's going on with me. Because I'm an open book. So
it's mind over matter. And shouldn't do too much right away anyway, because it'll probably be a stress on you. So everything in moderation, even moving towards health. You don't want to overdo things.
Oh yeah, like the other day, I haven't gone out there yet, but normally I walk down my driveway, then onto the street to where my mailbox is, then to the end of my road is about another 25 yards. If that. What I'll do is I'll walk up there, then walk back to my house. And I've been doing that every day when I check my mail. So hopefully pretty soon I'll be able to go down to the next crossroad, to the main road and back. That's what I'm working on. Is going a little further every time. So, because I want to be able to go squirrel hunting come August. So that's what I'm hoping for. And I've been trying to walk on uneven ground too. I have to be a bit slower, but I'm doing it. I can do it. You know. But as I said, I got to be careful, as you said, in moderation because of my back. You know, I still have to worry about the back.
You considered getting all spiffied up and hitting the golf course and chasing the ladies again, or what?
No, I couldn't swing a golf club. My back won't let me. You know.
Okay.
My back won't let me do it. But yeah, I thought about it. But that had crossed my mind. I'm gonna have to come up with something else. You know, I don't know what, but I have to come up with something else. But anyway, let me go through the thing here, line up here, and get shout outs and plugs. Because all I'm doing is waffling on here. New York Outcast, you got anything?
No, yeah, I guess DM Foss, if you're not familiar with him, he's doing a little giveaway, plate carrier, whatnot. Go check his channel out. Other than that, thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a great evening.
Yeah. Oh, DJ Play Nice is giving away my secret. That was my plan. He says I've got to hunt Sasquatch with my AR. Yeah. You know, that's another thing I want to do. Go Sasquatch hunting out in the woods there. They got to be out here. I tell you, they've got to be out here. I mean, especially back down there in the hollows where nobody goes. I mean, it's deeper than even banjo country back through there. You know, there is nobody because the government bought it all, and there's miles and miles and miles, acres and acres of forest back there, and you know nobody goes there. Nobody goes in there.
Oh, prime Bigfoot country.
Absolutely, and I'm going to go looking for one. You know, no, like if I
people that go in don't come back out.
More like if I found one, I'd shit myself and die of a heart attack. You know, but you know, I'm not saying they're real. I'm not saying they're not real. There's a possibility. Is all I'm saying.
Your luck, Rick. You'll go out there and you'll run across a female Bigfoot, and she'll keep you and never let you go. And then we'll be out of the show.
Yeah.
And we'll miss you.
All right, Squib, you got any shout outs or plugs?
Nothing I can think of. Thanks for the invite. Happy Easter, everybody.
Yeah, you too, Squib. Thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. All right, Patriot in the Dark, you got anything?
Besides Rob in New York, I would really like to say thanks to Kevin in New York. I've had some issues with the AK bolt, taking it apart. Seems that nobody in the world ever has taken one apart that I've talked to, and he helped me out, and so I got that video done. So that'll be coming out here eventually. But other than that, just have a blessed weekend and
okay,
Thanks,
great. I'm glad somebody helped you out on that AR.
Yeah. He actually he said he didn't have one, but he just looked at the videos and I called him or whatever. So that was pretty good. I appreciated it. It was just that the pin for the bolt or the firing pin retainer was smaller than what everybody said it was, and so the punch would not fit in there. So
okay.
My pins are two different sizes, which is weird. So anyway.
Okay. Rich White. Yeah, he's pretty good here. He goes, I'm going to be the new trapper. I need to get hold of the Mountain Monsters crew to back me up when I go hunting in the woods here for my Bigfoot. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show, Mountain Monsters, for the guys from West Virginia. These are old boys wearing bib overalls, and there's one old guy there that makes me look small, you know. they go hunting monsters in the woods up there where Rich lives. You know, so anyway, I thought it was funny. So anyway, William Well Armed, I know you got something coming up.
Yep. Hey, by the way, I do have that 1,000 subscriber giveaway. It's a SPC 6.8 upper by Radical Firearms, and they do make good uppers. So you might want to check those guys out for upper. But today I did a release on a rare breed trigger. It's forced reset. So when you pull the trigger, the bolt comes back, forces the trigger through the sear and a little action, and the trigger bounces off your finger, and then you shoot it again. So it's as close to full auto as you can find without dicking around with the law or doing something illegal. They got a bunch of lawyers and people they've hired from, retired from the ATF, that say it's legal, but it's a lot of fun. I did a video, released it today. So that's a rare breed FTS trigger. And it's a whole lot of fun. It's a pleasure to shoot. And so I shot on 2 different uppers. One upper didn't work so well. The second upper did. So, just fast forwarded. But I shot 180 rounds and, it was a breeze. But anyway, if you got time, check that out.
Yeah, it's legal now, but the ATF would rewrite the rules.
Yeah. So I'm selling mine. Just I want to make it public that I am selling it. It's not hidden anywhere. And so don't come messing up my house. Looking for
it. Okay. Jason Stewart, you got anything?
Yeah, come hang out on Monday night about 8 o'clock for a Moan and Groan. Appreciate the invite. Great to talk to everybody. And I hope you can find an AR.
All right. Thanks. Okay, that's it. We got through everybody. I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat for sticking by and listen to me ramble on about my life and everything else and whatever else we discussed today. My rant about the government and the way I feel. So anyway, be careful out there. It could happen to you at any time. Situation awareness is what has got to happen. I mean, I've even with my little 380, I carry. There's a mag in it, and I carry 2 extra mags now. Plus I've actually got a box of 380 ammo sitting in my center console in my truck too, just in case. Because the world is changing as we know it. Anyway, so that's it. I want to say goodbye to everybody. Thanks for being here. I'll be back on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. with Shooting with Disabilities. So I will see you all then. So good afternoon and good evening wherever you are. Later, everybody.
Bye, Sabrina.
May the force be with you. Always.